We kicked off the season in thrilling style a couple of weeks ago at Harleyford Heath. Paul O'Hara was a worthy winner on 11 under par in beautiful sunshine. It's event 2 and we're here at Harleyford. Slightly more volatile weather conditions and a new course on the schedule. John, I know you've been out there. What do you make of it?
I like it. I mean, it's chalk and cheese from, last week's at Harleyford Heath. I mean, that was just bone hard, running fast along the greens. This one, total different kettle of fish for the players. I mean, really soft out there. Massive downpour, threatenings of thunder and lightning every day so far, but luckily we've been able to dodge it. But the greens are really receptive, really spinny, very difficult to get really close to as well. I mean, they think people are going to say to it on the golf course, right, target golf, let's take it on. But the subtle slopes, we've seen it. We were playing in a pro-am earlier, and it was, it's not easy out there. I mean, the scoring is making it look really pretty. So, yeah, it's going to be tense, but...
There's some funky greens out there and a lot of rough. It's kind of quite an intimidating course to look at. What are the challenges the guys face with that visually?
Visually, I mean, the nice thing is you can paint every picture under the sun around this golf course. It's beautiful off the tee. You just look down there and all you do is just see, the grass is as tall as you actually, Kit.
Thanks.
But, the rough is absolutely monstrous. 20 foot off of the first cut, you're in thick hay, lost ball territory. But what I like about it is there's so many beautiful big oak trees around there, kind of makes you play. You have to either take it over it or bend it round it. I mean, especially like the likes of 15, really gets your eye, I think, 15, because of the shape of the hole. You got the little folly there on the left-hand side. It just looks beautiful, and most of the holes are like that. And I think, it does look like you could go really low out on the golf course, but you've got to be beware because these greens are not what you think.
Yeah, it's a stock par 72, 4 par 5s, plenty of scoring opportunities. The best weather of the week is forecast for the final round. What score do you think is possible?
Well, what was it, Tyrrell at the start of the week, and this is his own track, he said 14, 15 under par, and I'd say he was pretty much on the money because his name is written on all the boards inside when his amateur career. And obviously he started his pro career on here, and I think he's probably hit the nail on the head. I would say 14, 15 under par is going to be spot on.
There we go. The legend Johnny Morgan agrees with European Tour winner and home pro here, Tyrrell Hatton, that there are plenty of birdies and eagles to be had. We're all set for an exciting final round here.
Welcome to the second event on the tour and Harleyford in the heart of the Buckinghamshire countryside. 6,795 yards, a par 72 that has, as John and Kit have alluded to, produced a handful of outstanding scores. In round 2, 6 players were 66 or better, setting up a mouth-watering final round today. Billy Spooner's course record 64 puts him 1 ahead of Miles Collins, Alex Lodge only 2 off the lead, and a total of 9 players, all within 4 of Spooner. Well, I'm joined for final round commentary today by Kilkenny's Gary Murphy. And Gary, promising to be a day of twists and turns as we look at Mark Lasky, who opened quietly enough with a 70, but a 67 to follow, putting the Welshman right in contention.
Thank you, Michael. It has indeed, and he's just trying to get off to a good start today. That's the key, and he'll be pleased with that. Not easy control from the rough.
Now, like Lasky, James Skade also had a 67 yesterday to go with his opening 71, and he's already had a birdie at the first today.
That is a feature there, what John was talking about, trying to control the spin on these greens, and let's see if Lasky can make a quick start here on the first.
Tied 23rd in the opening event at Harleyford Heath. On course to do much better today. Now Skade, having already birdied the first, can he repeat the trick on 2?
He can indeed. Beautiful putt down the hill there.
Now this is Nick McCarthy. He represents Moortown Golf Club in Leeds. It was a regular European Tour venue for a while back in the 1980s. Nick Faldo won there, in fact.
Beautiful shot there from the rough. Got a lot of spin on that. Really good contact. He'll be delighted with that.
Now, this is John Ross Galbraith, and we've been talking about this young man back home for a few years now, and in particular he has a very strong short game.
Yeah, he's a crop of young Irish players who are obviously trying to make their way on the EuroPro Tour. Had a great amateur career, won the Irish Amateur and Sea Point Golf Club.
McCarthy now to open with a birdie. We can tell early on, Gary, it's not going to be a day for grinding out pars. You've got to go and chase the birdies today to get the job done.
It is indeed, and they're all chasing that big first prize, and as you say, Michael, birdies are key today.
Well, here's Galbraith's attempt to get one at the second. Be some effort from there.
Ooh, bonus putt there. He'll be delighted with that. That is a Brucey bonus.
And joins a bit of a pile-up going on at 8 under. Now, Alex Lodge eagled this hole yesterday on the way to a 67.
Just a little shy. Just too much grab on that first bounce.
Craig Ross was tied for the lead after the first round. Fell back a bit yesterday, but still very much a factor in this. Bit of ground to make up, though.
Not a bad position to start out, but does need to chase it, so needs a quick start. Beautiful spin control coming down the hill, and that'll give him a nice look at birdie.
Collins is Spooner's closest challenger, just a shot behind overnight.
Just shows the undulation there. That wasn't an easy shot. He's done well from there.
And here is our first look at the leader, young Billy Spooner.
Easy game, Michael. That'll settle him down. That's a good touch.
Absolutely. This is Craig Ross, represents Kirkhill Golf Club. 25 years of age, so needs to be getting on with it if he wants to really make it in the game. And he's been talking to Kit.
You've won on the tour before, back in 2014, but as an amateur, what did you learn from that experience?
It was a bit different. I kind of probably had a little bit nothing really to lose back then, but no, I enjoyed the experience and kind of got a wee taste of it. But no, looking forward to it and kind of trying to kind of emulate, do the same thing. I know I'm 3 behind, where I think I was tied for the lead back then. So we just got to go out and push on.
How different does it feel coming into the final round in contention, knowing you can actually make some money this time?
Yeah, a little bit different. Kind of, obviously I've not had that kind of experience yet, but this is these last 2 events I've played are my first kind of proper professional events where I've just been doing the qualifying. But no, looking forward to it and to try and hopefully make a little bit of money.
It'd be good to see a few Scots breaking through, wouldn't it, Gary? Because it's really dried up coming from there over the last 10 years or so.
It has indeed, but we are really looking forward to seeing some fresh talent coming through. And today is about the money, and that's a nice little start on second for his birdie.
Yeah, parred the first, but up and running now with that birdie at the second. So Ross now 2 behind. Can Lodge get back to just 1 off the lead?
Super start there. That should settle him down. Nice to get the speed of the greens early, get a feel for them, give himself a bit of confidence.
I think a lot of the players have done that, Gary. So many putts going in, and surely we're going to see this one going in as well. The chasing pack putting Spooner under a bit of early pressure.
And that's exactly what he would have wanted, just a nice tidy birdie to open up, settle him down a little bit.
So Spooner opens up a 2-stroke lead over a group which now includes Brian Casey, the Irishman, who was out in 31, then birdied the 10th, and after a par on 11, is now 10 under with 7 to play.
Tee shot on the second, and as you can see, conditions are a little soft and plenty of rough off the beaten track, so fairways are a must today.
And right in the middle of the fairway is even better. We saw Galbraith's birdie on the second. He's since parred the third. Here he is now on 4.
Beautiful control there, as John said earlier. It's all about spin control on these greens.
Craig Ross, who we've just heard from. It was interesting what he was saying there about how much easier it is to win as an amateur when you don't have that pressure of playing for money.
Absolutely true. He was just kind of on free fall, and now it's payday, so he needs to really knuckle down.
Alex Lodge with his approach to the second. Oh, he's given himself a real chance of a birdie start to the final round.
Really good technique here. Excellent transition, nice and quiet in his lower half, and extends out beautifully and controlled it from the rough as well. Super shot.
Back to Ross on the second.
He's done really well from there. That wasn't easy. Didn't have a lot of green to work with.
And Kit is out on the course.
Well, that drive was an absolute statement of intent from Billy Spooner there. He has smashed it down the middle of this narrow second fairway, and it's opened this up now, a great chance for birdie. He's got 162 yards to the pin, not much wind to speak of. It looks like it's right at the front, but it's actually 10 paces on. There's room to land it short and just release it up to this hole.
Early days, but he's looking fairly comfortable with this position, being in the lead, Gary.
He has indeed, and as Kit said, fairways are key today. They still give him a good opportunity. Good look at his swing here. It's a powerful move as well. Clears himself beautifully. A little bit steep on it, you saw that little bit of extra spin.
Back to Galbraith now, up ahead at the fourth. Second birdie of the day already. Wasn't in the opening event at Frilford Heath, but certainly making up for lost time in this one.
Ross trying to tidy up for par here. Hit a beautiful chip from just left of the green to get to here. Can he save his par?
Not quite. That's frustrating.
Spooner had a nice shot in, just spun back on the fringe. This for his birdie.
Oh, judged to absolute perfection. What a way to start from such a strong overnight position. Just keep on pressing, and he's looking so comfortable in the lead. Back to Ross now, just tidying up on three. Now we've seen Spooner birdie both of the first two. This is Lodge's chance to match that. They're knocking these in everywhere, Gary.
Match it he does. Red hot putters today.
So Billy Spooner now 2 ahead of Alex Lodge and Brian Casey, who's having this fantastic charge on the final day. Miles Collins only 3 off the lead. Let's hear from the golf manager here at Harleyford, Jack Slade.
It's such a big thing for Harleyford. We've never really had anything like this before, but to be able to host such a prestigious event here at Harleyford just means the world, not to just to me, but to the whole club. It's been absolutely fantastic. Tyrrell hadn't held the course record before, but it's been smashed out the water twice this week, so we've got 264s, which is just incredible, an incredible score for a very challenging course considering the weather, but great that someone's actually done it on the first EuroPro tournament that we've had here at Harleyford.
Record-breaking scores in rounds 1 and 2. Expectations for more of the same in the final round of the Matchroom Sport Championship here at Harleyford. Welcome back to the final round of the Matchroom Sport Championship here at Harleyford, where Billy Spooner is chasing his first ever win on the EuroPro Tour, and he's off to a very good start in this final round. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. A par at the third keeps Spooner on 13 under, 2 ahead of the charging Brian Casey and Alex Lodge, and Miles Collins only 3 off the lead and still very much in contention. Let's go out to Spooner then on the 4th hole.
Aggressive play out with his driver on the 4th for Spooner.
But a good play. It's proved to be the right decision for him. He just looks so confident, Gary.
He does, and he's a big, strong lad, isn't he? Great turn there, nice full finish. There's no holding back there. So that's an air of confidence, that swing.
Spooner's only left 89 yards in here on the 4th. He's going to have a wedge in hand, but it's all about spin control. That pin is way up on the back tier. Too much spin into these soft greens and it'll suck back towards the middle. That leaves a tricky 2-putt up the hill. If he can play it in a dead arm manner, take the spin off and keep it on that top tier, he'll have a really good look at another birdie.
You mentioned what a big, strong, young lad he is, Gary, and so many players like that now coming through at the highest level. Brooks Koepka, Tony Finau, players like that.
Absolutely. Michael, that is the way the game going. Let's see, as Kit described, can he dead arm this? Take a little bit off it, reduce the spin. And he's played that pretty well. Give him another look for a birdie. That'll be 3 in the first 4 if he can make that.
Galbraith has birdied the 4th. Can he back it up now with another? Continue this great start. Oh, 3 birdies in the first 5 and really doing his level best to keep up with a very strong pace that's been set here.
A birdie try on 4 for Lodge. Slowish put up the hill.
Chance to get back to 1 behind. Fraser was 16th on the final order of merit last season, and a decent start to this campaign. He shared 13th place at Frilford Heath in the opening event.
So important to try to get off to a fast start this season, get up that order of merit as quick as you can, and what a fast start this has been for Spooner. Trying to back up his start with another birdie from behind the hole. Just a little, took a little bobble there, a little unlucky, but it's another rock solid par.
Yeah, you mentioned that, getting off to a fast start, Gary. I mean, it took about 22,500 to get one of the 5 Challenge Tour cards last season. So you win here today, you're almost halfway there, and you've got all of the rest of the season to find the other half. So it really would be a massive thing for any of these players to win, including this man, James Fraser, looking for back-to-back birdies here. And that very welcome sound of the ball dropping in the bottom of the cup. But he's still not on that little mini leaderboard there. Spooner 1 ahead now of Casey, who's continuing this fantastic charge.
Second shot on 5 for Lodge. 11 under, just 2 back.
Did make the cut at Frilford Heath, but only tied for 42nd, so could do with a much higher finish this week, and looks like he's going to get it. Now John's going to take a closer look for us at one of the holes on the closing stretch here.
Well, we come to 14. It's 337 yards, dogleg right to left, and I tell you what, it's one of those, do you go for it or do you lay up? Now, if you lay up, it's no more than, honestly, 7 iron, 6 iron. Way out to the right, going to leave you a wedge in. No brainer, right? Definitely a sensible option. This green, on all accounts, kind of goes away from you as well. So at the front of the green, it kind of slopes towards the back, so very difficult to hold this putting surface. But it dangles that carrot because you can take on a corner, it'll shorten this hole out considerably, but if you pull it slightly too much to the left-hand side, you've got rough up to here, honestly, lost ball territory. So what do? Do you want to have a go at it? I think most of the players this week will have a pop at this green. They'll be aiming a little bit further to the right, where the rough isn't so thick. If they slightly come out of it, they got a chip onto the green. And it's not an easy chip, by the way, definitely far from it. So I'm taking aim, I've got these 2 beautiful trees just in front of me. I'm looking at the left one out of the 2, which is kind of starting me on just 10 yards, 15 yards right of that green, and hopefully my draw will kick in. And well, hope for the best, it gets very close, if not on there. But I'm going to give it a go, open my shoulders and give it a whack. My bailout zone is right, don't want to go left. Go on. Could be close. Could be close.
Here is Casey on 14, having a day to remember. Played the first 5 holes in 5 under, and he's now 8 under for the day, just 1 shot off the lead.
And he's in a great position. Just keep pressing as much as he can. Try post that number and see if someone can get it.
He certainly went for it with his drive and wasn't too far away from the green. Back to Lodge on 5. Well, that's a tricky one to judge, Gary, and he's done it pretty well.
He has indeed. 3 good shots and left himself just underneath the hole.
Casey now to complete the up and down on 14 and continue this momentum he's got.
Just slides by on the low side. You'll feel he left one back there. It's been a great day for Brian.
Alex Lodge now. This is by far the longest hole on the course, but he's got a chance to birdie it.
Just never stayed in that putt. He was out of that early, had a little peek. Opens the shoulders and the blade and misses it on the low side. Chance gone there.
Let's hear what he has to say to Kit.
Alex, through 5 holes, how do you feel it's going so far?
Pretty good, yeah. I had 2, well, 3 good putts in the first 3 holes. Actually, the first 2 were virtually the same putt, so yeah, it was nice to get off the start and hold a few putts in the first few holes.
Yeah, it looks like the putter's working really well out there. Is that how it feels?
Yeah, no, it feels good today. Obviously that one not so good, that was just a bad read there, but yeah, no, it feels good. The surfaces are nice. So.
Coming into the 6th now, what do you make of the next few holes we've got coming up?
I suppose there's a tough sort of 2 or 3 holes now, and then it kind of opens up to the slightly easier hole, so we get through the next 3 and then try and push on, I think.
Thanks very much, good stuff, keep it going.
So Spooner 1 ahead of Casey, Lodge only 2 behind. It's just so tight and such a lot of golf still to play.
Glorious shot right down the top of the flag. It was quite brave to interview him after that little miss putt.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have done that.
No.
He's given himself a chance now to get back within 1 of Spooner. Quiet start for Collins, the man who was in 2nd place overnight, all pars so far.
Another beautiful shot in there. Same sponsor as Jimenez, by the looks of things.
Same ponytail, yeah. Brian Casey, 26 years of age, represents Headford Golf Club. Favourite course, the European Club, one of the Great Links courses, and his favourite player, Damien McGrain, former winner of the China Open. Agonising for him at Frilford Heath. He double bogeyed the 18th in round 2 to miss the cut by 1. But what a response this week, Gary.
Absolutely sensational final round. Trying to negotiate from out under those trees. Clips the top on the way through, but he's going to be okay. He can scramble from there.
Collins had 2 top 10s on the EuroPro Tour last season, finished joint 6th on 2 occasions, but could certainly better that today.
Beautiful roll down the hill there. That's excellent too. Gets him to -11, just 2 back.
Lodge, can he get to 12? He can.
Casey looks like he's a decent lie. He's quite upright on it. He's not reaching for it too much. He's played that. Oh, in you go!
Well now, and £59,000 for anyone who can make a 59 on the EuroPro Tour this season, and with a par 5 still to come, that means Casey still has an outside chance of doing it. And the way things are going, who would bet against him? Everything going his way today.
Par putt for Spooner to stay at -13.
Yeah, and he needs it now to stay in a share of the lead after Casey's chip in.
It's confidently done. He looks pretty calm.
So Brian Casey, 9 under par for the day with 3 holes to go. He joins Billy Spooner on 13 under. Alex Lodge is also making a very good start, but he still trails by 1. And then Miles Collins, 11 under. Fairly quiet start for him, but still very much in contention. Now, the club captain here is Gareth Roblin.
We've really worked hard on our membership here, not only with the club doing so well in bringing new members in and growing membership, but also trying to get people participating, playing golf, and also this week guys out there helping all the time. You know, Malcolm out on the first tee waving flags to get people through, and the club is so well run by Jack, and the course now is in great condition, and they're able to absorb all this rain miraculously over the last few days.
And how excited are you by the prospect of hosting more events like this and hopefully the EuroPro Tour again in the future?
Well, I hope we can. Well, I don't know. I think that's for the EuroPro Tour to decide, but I think the course has shown that it's capable of handling top competitions and presenting a challenge for some of the best golfers around, because some of these guys, without a doubt, are moving on an upward trajectory to greater things.
And two of those on that trajectory have laid down a marker. Spooner holds his nerve on the 6th, and Casey produces a bit of magic on the 15th. It's the final round of the Matchroom Sport Championship at Harleyford, the second event of the EuroPro Tour season, and it really is hotting up in this final round. So many players right in contention, and so many of them playing really well. Brian Casey on some charge, 13 under, and now tied at the top with the overnight leader Billy Spooner. Alex Lodge on 12 under, and Miles Collins only 2 off the lead. Let's go back out to Kit.
We're here at the 7th. It's a 470-yard par 4, but it doesn't play anywhere near as long as that. The tee is some 200 yards way up there above me, and as you can see, the fairway all slopes out downhill. You probably can't even tell just how downhill this is. A bit like Augusta National, the old cliche applies. You really don't appreciate the slopes until you really see it. And just here is where we're getting to the very steepest part. It's about 220 yards from the tee. So the safe shot, look to land something and chase it here, a long iron, maybe a hybrid depending on what your preference is, and you can chase it down. If you want to be more aggressive though, and believe me, there's an advantage to it on this hole, you want to be bombing driver. Now we're starting to get to the point where it's sort of 240, 250, 260 here. This is where the guys will be landing it. You've got to be careful of this little shoulder that just comes in, because that's going to kick any balls in this direction. But if you can carry it, land it on a flatter spot, get a more predictable bounce, then you can start chasing the ball down into this section of the fairway. And that advantage I spoke about becomes really clear. Further back, you've probably got the ball above your feet. It's on a downslope, so much harder to control, especially to that back pin position. If you can get it down to this point, we've got the red marker here, which is 100 yards into the front of the green. This is perfect. From here, you can attack this pin, make a birdie, and perhaps send yourself to the £10,000 winner's check.
And yet, interestingly, in both of the first 2 rounds, it's played the hardest hole on the course, more than half a shot over par, in both round 1 and round 2, as we see Alex Lodge on the 7th.
You can just see how difficult that stance was. Try to lay it back from the tee, and he's in all sorts of bother over there on the right-hand side.
Never a good sign when you see the player letting go of the club and has followed through like that. Now Casey needs a 2-3-3 finish. That's birdie, eagle, birdie for that magical 59.
That is not what he was looking for.
Collins has got 183 yards left here down the left-hand side. Now he's got a lovely angle into that back pin, but a lot of decisions to make in his clubbing. It's off quite a severe downslope. That's going to de-loft it by as much as 2 clubs from this lie. On the other hand, he's also got some rough behind the ball. Is it going to come out with a flyer? Is it going to come out a little bit dead? Really, really tough to judge this with the lie and the elevation change. And the last thing he wants to do is go long, which is exactly what less loft and a potential flyer lie is going to make him do. This is probably middle of the green, front of the green to be safe all day long.
Yeah, after 5 straight pars, Collins finally got things going with his first birdie of the day at the 6th.
Beautifully described by Kit. Let's see if Collins can work it all out. But he certainly has not. That is in a spot of bother long over the green.
Trying to think of other players who play with a ponytail. Marcel Seam as well, can you think of anyone? Jimenez you mentioned.
Certainly not me anyway, Michael.
Now Mark Lasky on the 8th. Well, he had a run of 5 birdies in a row during his back 9 yesterday, so he's now 8 under for the last 14 holes he's played.
Little further down the fairway for Spooner, and he hates it.
Yeah, it's gone a bit quiet for him since that birdie start. All pars since then.
Probably a little unsure on his number down that hill and never committed to it.
We saw Casey chip in on 15. He'd love to do it again on 16, keep alive that 59 dream.
Go on, get up. Go on. Great shot. Again.
Exceptionally well to get it to there, and that'll be a scramble for his par. Spooner's a really difficult backswing. It's a bit of a hit and hope. You never really quite know how this is going to come out, but he has to commit to it, give it a full swing, which he doesn't. He's got to scramble just to save bogey.
It's funny how even at this level, Gary, players struggle to commit on a shot like that, isn't it?
It is indeed. You're just afraid it's going to go too much. Let's see if Casey can tidy this up. Oh, that's a really good save. Keeps his round going.
He's just rock solid today. 3 top 10 finishes for him last season. 3rd at Moore Allerton was the best of them. And Collins hasn't dropped a shot yet, but every chance he's going to do so here.
I think he'd be pretty happy with that. That could have gone anywhere. Club just totally snagged down on the grass.
Alex Lodge turned pro 5 years ago now, represents Calcott Park Golf Club in Berkshire. Went to the University of Birmingham to do his PGA apprenticeship. Before setting out today, he spoke to Kit.
When we caught up after your round yesterday, you reckoned you'd be a couple of shots back or so. You are a couple of shots back, so your predictive powers are good. How are you feeling going into the final round?
Yeah, good. It's quite I think it's quite a nice feeling, sort of being close to the lead, not in the lead. I mean, it'd be great leading, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's nice that you can go out and kind of attack because you know you need to. You've got a little bit of ground to make up. So I think still be patient is my game plan and stick to my process. But yeah, I'm feeling good for today.
Well, we saw how disappointed he was with his approach to the 7th, so work to do for his par here, Gary.
He does indeed. He was a little fortunate to hit that tree. It could have. Oh no. That is a nervy duff.
Yeah, another one failing to commit.
Watch, just stops turning, loses all speed through impact and sticks the club on the ground. Let's see if McCarthy can roll this one in for birdie on 8. Yes, he can. Gets to double figures.
Yeah, and it's the 3rd birdie of the day for the man who had that wonderful final round 63 at Cumberwell Park last season. Back to the struggles of Collins on 7.
And that is a sensational shot from there, but that will be from for a bogey. Just use the cushion of the grass beautifully.
At the same hole, Lodge also in damage limitation mode.
Just see how that is the wrong side to miss this green. Did well just to get it to 10 feet. Super quick from the right-hand side.
John Ross Galbraith eagled this hole yesterday. And not beyond the bounds of possibility he might do so again today.
Just trying to work it in a little from left to right there.
The 7th is the longest of the par 4s on the course, and it's causing all sorts of problems for some of the front runners today, including Billy Spooner.
And that is a quality shot there. They've all been scrambling around this hole, which would have added just even more pressure. See the way he kept moving through there. Kept the Get the club working a little to the left.
You really don't want bogey putts from this distance, Gary.
And that's brave from Lodge, because his head would have been scrambled, there's no denying that. He'll be pleased to come out there with just a bogey.
So with all those struggles going on behind him, what a chance here for Galbraith on 9.
Back-to-back eagles.
And the man they call JR has struck oil in Buckinghamshire, an eagle on the 9th for the 2nd day in a row. He's out in 31.
It's going to be a bogey on 7 for Spooner, which will drop him back to -12.
And now one behind the new outright leader, Casey. Now this is Lasky looking to tidy up his front 9. And he does so by birdieing the 9th for the 3rd day in a row.
Stay with us.
He knows he's doing well when the cameras are on him. Collins trying to tidy up for his bogey on 11. He was in a lot of trouble over the back and actually hit a beautiful chip shot just to get to here.
First birdie of the day on 6, gives it straight back on 7, but that really could have been an awful lot worse. So Casey, the outright leader now on 13 under, one ahead of a group of 3 players sharing second, Skade, Galbraith, and the overnight leader, Billy Spooner. Mark Lasky and Alex Lodge, both within 2 of the lead. Still so many players right in contention for this Matchroom Sport Championship. And here's one of them.
Just sat down a little bit on the 10th hole. JR, can he find the contact? That's what it's all about here, so he can get enough ball on the club face. He's done exceptionally well from there, but he'll have plenty of movement on that putt.
And if he can hold that one, he'll leapfrog Casey and go into the outright lead himself.
Yeah, good birdie there from McCarthy. It is a hole that's offered up plenty of birdies, so you really want to make one.
Yeah, he bogeyed it yesterday, an ugly 6, but so much better today. Now, surely it isn't going to be 2 eagles in a row for Galbraith. He had one at the 9th for the 2nd day in a row. I think he'll be happy enough with the tap-in birdie there, Gary.
Absolutely. Eagle was a bonus, but let's see what Spooner can do on 8. Can he bounce back from that bogey on 7? Just found the first cup, but the lie is good.
Oh, of course he can bounce back. These youngsters have no fear.
Easy game when the confidence is high. Galbraith just a little bit more than he would have wanted for birdie.
2 Irishmen in the commentary box. 2 Irishmen tied for the lead.
Perfect tee shot on the 8th hole for Lodge. Bang in the middle of the fairway. Just a little wedge. Can he follow Spooner?
Well, he dropped his first shot of the day at the 7th, but maybe he's going to repair the damage at the next hole.
Fraser trying to get to -10.
Lodge has been really good with the flat sticks so far today, and he's given himself a nice look for birdie here. He's got about 16 feet. It's uphill, so he can be aggressive. As the pace comes off it, though, it's just going to want to bleed to the right. As you can also see, Billy Spooner marking his ball there. He's knocked one in tight. A great opportunity for both of these guys to bounce back from those bogeys with a couple of birdies.
Now this is Lodge trying to keep up with Galbraith and Casey, who he now trails by 2, but he can cut that in half here. And he got a good read from Kit, Gary.
He did indeed. They both read that beautifully. Spooner trying to follow him in. Beautiful approach shot. Almost stone dead, but nothing is stone dead. Final round. Very confident stroke.
Yeah, he's looking so comfortable. No problem at all for him. Being in contention, was the overnight leader. He's now tied. Casey, Galbraith and Spooner all on 13 under. Skade and Lodge only 1 behind. Lasky and McCarthy trailing by just 2. Fraser and Collins were there only 3 adrift. And they've still got plenty more holes to make it up. So many players in contention for this Matchroom Sport Championship. A fascinating battle for glory in the final round. More to come after the break. It's wide open in the final round of the Matchroom Sport Championship, a three-way tie for the lead and so many players in hot pursuit as they battle for the second title of the EuroPro Tour season. Casey, Galbraith and Spooner, all on 13 under, but all in very different corners of the course. Skade and Lodge just one behind. Let's go out to John, he's on the 12th.
Well, I've been going around this golf course and I've got to tell you, it is absolutely gorgeous. And I've come to this 12th, 173 yards, par 3, and I tell you what, it's an absolute cracker. It really is. Green set down below you, beautiful trees, massive trees around it, and look at it. It's got that kind of quarry kind of feel about it where it's been cut into the rocks there and they've made the green. It's sloping back to front as well. Two beautiful bunkers guarding it if you come up a little bit shy. And yeah, lovely little monument there on the top as well. Cracking, lovely hole. I'm just looking at pin today in the middle of the green, looking very favourable for the players, so I think they might take it on. But you never know where that final day's pin position is going to be. Well, I'm just going for the heart of the green, that's all you need. 7 iron. It's a bit of a stiff swing. Has it got the beans to get there? Oh, it has, too much beans. Oh, with a bit of chubby checker. Come on, boy, keep coming back. First swing of the day, 20 foot. Have that.
I think Galbraith will be very happy to match that. So many good players coming out of Northern Ireland, lots of local role models there. 6 major titles won by players from Northern Ireland already this decade.
Yeah, just a little bit off from that distance, but it will be a birdie try. And Collins on 9. He's at -10. Trying to get his round going here. This is a chance to 9th.
Maybe not so much now. Now here's a man who's featured prominently on this tour in recent years. Shortest of the par 3s this. Let's go to Kit on the 9th.
Spooner went eagle through 9 and 10 on the way to his course record 64 in the second round. And he's done the first part of following up that job with the same today spectacularly well. He's only got 180 yards in for his second shot here. It's downhill as well, so it could be as little as a short iron. A great opportunity for him to really grab this tournament by the horns.
Can't be more than an 8 iron down this hill. Oh, that's a good aggressive play off that downslope. Just a little unlucky with the spin. It's a big long swing, which is nice to see. Keeps everything moving well. Just a little bit in between clubs there and went for the hard 8.
Now Galbraith with quite a bit of distance to cover for a 2 on 12.
Collins and all sorts of bother here at the back of the 9th.
Yeah, he's level par for the round today, so by standing still in terms of his score, he's lost a lot of ground on the leaderboard.
What a shot that was. I'd be delighted with that. Outside try for his birdie.
Speaking of an outside try for a birdie, Lasky has one on 12.
Just see the change of pace in these greens uphill. So really getting on the right side, it's a totally different speed putt. Now this will be an unbelievable up and down if Collins can roll this in for his birdie.
Seen some really good scrambling today, Gary.
Well, it's payday, Michael. They all want it.
Now Spooner to regain the outright lead. Finishes his outward 9 with birdies at the 8th and the 9th and turns for home with a 1-stroke advantage.
Lodge trying to save his par on 9, just to stay at -12.
He needed that. He would have been 3 behind if he'd missed it. Now, news of Brian Casey. He's just birdied the 17th. He's 10 under par for his round, so he joins Spooner on 14 under. Galbraith 1 behind with 6 to play. Skade and Lodge trailing by just 2. Let's go out to Kit once again on the 10th.
Another eagle chance for Spooner here. This time he's a bit closer, 20 feet. But there's sort of a whale buried in the green here. He's got to go up and over a little slope. It's going to be slow to start with, but he's got to get that pace right coming over, or he can easily run it past. The last thing he wants to do here is make things more difficult for birdie if it doesn't go in. Reading it's going to be tricky as well. If anything, it's just going to want to feather away to the right as that pace comes off it.
We'll see how Spooner gets on with that putt in a moment, but first Lodge trying to get onto the green. Shortest par 5 on the course this, and lots of players making birdie on it just now.
Beautiful rhythm on that from Lodge, really well controlled. Everything nice and connected, working together. No manipulation too much of the ball.
McCarthy maybe now just getting to that stage where he's running out of holes to catch up.
Yes, and they've struggled to get back to this flag, so let's see if he can cover the distance. Yeah, it's just a little gravel at the back is a bit of an optical illusion for these guys, and it's spooked them, but let's see what Spooner can do back on 10. This is for eagle.
15 players eagled this hole yesterday. Spooner was one of them. Could he possibly do it again? Wasn't far away.
Been aggressive with his tee shot. We saw earlier with Johnny describing this hole. Beautiful tee shot and a beautiful little pitch in there.
Yeah, another player running out of holes. Needs to make something happen. Be happy enough with the 2-putt from there, surely, Gary.
Yeah, Collins will be looking for a 1-putt here on 10.
He was another player who eagled the 10th yesterday. Spooner couldn't quite repeat the feat. Can Collins?
Good putt. Just read it a little bit too much from the left and it didn't move.
Galbraith had an eagle 2 on this hole in the first round.
Just the difference there, getting on the wrong side.
Billy Spooner, only 20 years of age, turned pro at just 17. Favourite player, Tiger Woods, who won the Masters back in '97 before Spooner was even born. Before he set off in the final round, he had a word with Kit.
You've been in this position a couple of times on the EuroPro Tour before. You're still only 20 years old, so a youngster. But how much does it help to have that experience in the bank?
Oh, it definitely helps. But I've never actually been leading a tournament on EuroPro yet, going into the last round, but it's something new, so I've just got to get used to it.
What do you take from those other occasions when you have been in and around the lead that you can use to your advantage today?
I think what I'm going to do different today is just not think about the scoreboard, just focus on my game in one shot at a time. I think when you get too ahead of yourself, that's when mistakes happen. So.
Well, he can get ahead of the field here yet again. This to go 15 under. Well, he's played this hole in 4 under for the week.
He looks very confident on the greens as well, which will stand him in good stead. Now let's see if J.R. can roll in a longer putt than he wanted. Oh, just sneaks by on the right. He'll be disappointed with that. That really was a hole he was looking to birdie.
Yeah, big chance to stay right on Spooner's tail. So he stays 13 under. Can Lodge join him there?
Just a little bit quicker from this side of the hole for Mark Lasky, but shouldn't have too much trouble. Nicely done.
5th birdie of the round for the Welshman. He's hanging in there, but still needs a big finish. Just a tap in here really for Collins at the 10th. Yet another player who's picked up 4 shots on this hole over the 3 days.
Bill, nice birdie there on 10. We're through 10 holes now of the final round. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing and playing all right. Just got to keep it in the fairways, hitting the greens, and just if they hold a putt, it's a bonus.
How important was it to bounce back from that bogey at 7 with a birdie straight after and then the 2 more on the spin?
Yeah, it was a very careless bogey. I only had 140. Terrible shot, but bounce back ability was brilliant. So.
And now heading into the sort of final stretch here, what does the back 9 hold in store for you?
Just hitting the ball well, so just got to keep it in the fairways. And if you hit the fairways around here, you shouldn't really miss the greens, because the greens are quite soft.
Well, Casey achieved a degree of fame back in Ireland a while back by going on a TV show about people who needed coaching to improve their confidence for public speaking, but certainly doesn't have any lack of confidence in his golf game today. He's 10 under for his round, Gary.
He is indeed, and it's been a wonderful final round for Brian.
Nick McCarthy finished 3rd twice last season.
Beautiful shot in there. Now the confident Spooner in the lead at -15. He's talking about finding fairways. And that's a good start.
He looked so relaxed in that little interview, didn't he, Gary? I love these guys who think the game's easy and then make it look easy.
The ignorance of youth, Michael, it'll all come to them. But it is when you're in the form he's in. He's dead right. Just ride that wave, go with the flow. Let's see if Casey can keep charging. Needs to grab, and it's just going to release out.
Well, you have to think he's got to get in at 14 under to have any sort of realistic chance, so he's going to have to really pull it all out to do that now as we go back to Lodge on 11.
Yeah, beautifully played using the shape of the fairway. Little left to right.
Now McCarthy really needs to convert this to stay on the heels of the leaders.
Nice putting grip there. The same putting grip Porrick Harrington used to have as an amateur. Didn't do him too much harm.
Now this is for a 62 for Casey. Oh, never gave it a chance, Gary.
Just a little precise on the line and forgot to hit it, but it's been a wonderful final round. A really good look at this flag on 11. All just a little below his feet. Should help him work it a little left to right.
Oh yeah, gives himself a chance of back-to-back birdies and could move within one of the lead. So an eagle at the 5th, the first we've seen there all week. Stalled a bit after that, but then 6 birdies in 9 holes before that dropped shot at the last. Could 13 under be enough? We'll find out.
Gotta think he might be at least 2 or 3 shy, but you never know. Spooner trying to keep his round going. Just a little controlled wedge down the hill on 11. Man, he's played that wonderfully.
Yeah, he's on a real roll here now. That'll be for his 4th birdie in a row. Now McCarthy needs a really big finish now if he's to have any chance at all.
Gotta try to keep this below the hole if he can. It's really quick past it, and that's a glorious bunker shot. It'll be just a little kick in for his birdie.
James Skade, been a pro for a while now. He's had a few wins. His favourite players, Ian Poulter and Porrick Harrington, 2 players we saw go head-to-head for the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale 10 years ago this summer. And his favourite course, the very tough Valderrama. 6 birdies today and an eagle at the 10th. He's only 2 behind now.
Just thinking, post some kind of a number. You never know. Will it release out? Just a little bit more than he wanted, but pretty well played.
So back-to-back birdies for the second time in this round for Nick McCarthy. Keeping the dream alive, just. Will it be consecutive birdies for this man, Alex Lodge?
He's been stroking the ball beautifully today, and long game to match.
So only 1 off the lead now. And Skade also gets within 1 of the lead. But for how long? Because Spooner has this for his 4th birdie on the trot.
He's looked so confident on the greens all day. He's been walking them in like it's just a round with his mates.
So on 16 under, Billy Spooner leads by 2 with 7 holes to play. James Skade having a great day. He's still got 1 hole to go. Alex Lodge still right in there on 14 under as well. Casey, what a round for him. 63, but 13 under. Unlikely to be good enough. Just as the chasing pack close in on Billy Spooner, a birdie putt on the 11th extends his lead as he chases the Matchroom Sport Championship here at Harleyford Golf Club. Billy Spooner in control, but a chasing pack very hot on his heels in the final round of the second event of the EuroPro Tour season, the Matchroom Sport Championship. Spooner leading by 2 strokes. He's on 16 under par as he chases his first win on this tour at the age of 20. He's got 5 holes to go. Skade's only got 1 to play, but if he could birdie the last, he might put a bit of pressure on. Let's go to John Morgan on 15.
Well, I know you should be biased, but this has got to be my favourite hole on the golf course, 15. And for the reason, Barry, you've got the folly there. It's a beautiful dog leg from right to left, shaped with beautiful trees, really tight, and it's kind of risk or rewarding. I mean, you could stand on this tee and you could think, right, I'm going to tee it up down the left-hand side, take it over the trees on the left and get as close up there as you want, but it leaves you like 40 yards in. And that is just that, you know, it's that awkward number to try and get it close. I like to leave myself a full shot in, so I've gone with the 3-wood, maybe a possible real long iron, get it down there, down the right-hand side, but you've got to bend it from right to left. It is a must to move it from right to left, and if you don't, well, you could be in the trees on the right. If you slightly overcook it, you're in the trees on the left, and there's thick rough everywhere. Cracking looking hole, really paints a great picture in your brain looking down there. You know what you got to do, just paint it and play it. And there we go, a little draw round the corner with a 3-wood, and I tell you what, that's set up a nice birdie chance on the fairway. Job done.
And here is Fraser on 15. Hasn't dropped a shot all day, just not enough birdies for the man who was runner-up at Collingtree Park back in September.
Still got 4 holes left to try to do some damage. Oh, that's just a wonderful shot in there. Great control from the first cut.
Alex Lodge still right in there with 5 to play.
That's okay up there, but it's going to be a little quick coming down the green.
Nick McCarthy chasing a hat-trick of birdies now.
Did pretty well with that, Michael. That could have gone anywhere.
He's got an outside chance at least. Now, Collins had a 2 here yesterday.
That is a sensational tee shot. Should leave him with a routine up and down.
Galbraith's charge has lost momentum a bit, not made a birdie since the 10th. Not out of it though.
Wasn't easy there. Ball sat down a little bit, couldn't quite get the control on it. Didn't just play it soft enough.
All these players, of course, battling, Gary, for one of those 5 Challenge Tour cards. Well, MK Kim from Korea, who got one of them last year at the age of 16, well, he's now 17 and just a couple of weeks ago became the youngest ever winner on the European Challenge Tour. So really shows what a stepping stone this circuit can be.
It certainly is, and you can see with Jordan Smith, you know, you get out here and you win and you get on the next tour, anything is possible. He's now a winner on the European Tour, and this is all what these guys are chasing. But you got to start it here. Little unlucky there. He thought that was going to release down a lot more than what it did. Just have a look at the contact here. Yeah, pretty good. Played it nicely, just didn't get that release down the hill.
Little tester for Galbraith here. That was his first dropped shot all day, and could that be the end of the challenge for this man from Northern Ireland?
Just a little nervy there. He's trying to be a little too precise. Probably thought it was straight and it moved a bit. Speed would have taken that out. And let's see if Collins can negotiate this down the hill. It is quick.
I mentioned he eagled this hole yesterday. Not a million miles away from doing it again today.
Oh, excellent touch. Tap in for birdie.
Yep, and that'll take him within 3 of the lead. This man is already within 3 of the lead.
Just never got that started on line. Tried to bully it straight and it was just a little on the right.
Hadn't dropped a shot all day before that.
Lodge had a good tee shot, a good chip down to here. He was just a little unlucky. See, can he roll this one in? Down the hill. Yes, he can. Beautiful birdie.
Only 1 behind now.
Played the hole beautifully and rounded it off. Nice little tap in for his birdie to get to -11, 5 back.
Yeah, probably all a bit too late for him to have a chance, but can certainly make a nice check. This to complete a hat-trick because he birdied it in round 1 and round 2.
Just always a little on the low side. And it was a hole he would have been wanting a birdie on the tee, so he'll be a little frustrated with that.
I don't think anything frustrates this guy, Gary. I think he just gets on with it, doesn't he? Shrugs it all off.
Well, he's only 20 years of age, so it's all in front of him.
So Billy Spooner, 16 under par with 4 to play, with a 1-stroke lead over Alex Lodge, 2 ahead of James Skade, who's playing the last. What a day it's been for him. And Brian Casey, of course, we've talked about as well, with his magnificent finish. He's joined on 13 under by Miles Collins. Last of the par 3s then for McCarthy.
The contact was great and he's got it pin high. Let's see what Collins can do. -13, only 3 back.
Now, John Morgan is at the last.
Well, we come to the 18th and it's a tough cookie. Soft dog leg from left to right, fraught with danger down the right, out of bounds, really close to the fairway. And I mean, it starts right here by the tee and it goes all the way down to the green. Got this huge oak on the left-hand side as well. 277 off the tee. If you clatter into that, it could go anywhere. It might have a massive spring in your step. You come off a 17, nice par 5, make your birdie, stand on here. Whoa, calm yourself down, because I tell you what, if you need to make par on this, it's easier said than done, because what's in your mind? Out of bounds, and it is right there by the side of the fairway. You stand there, you want a nice little low ball flight, little bit of left to right ideally, suits this hole. So I'm just looking at my cameraman down there. He's just below the tree on the right hand side. He's my kind of perfect aim. If I can get it moving from left to right off him and nice and low, I'm staying well away from danger. There we go. Kind of ball a little bit further back in my stance, hands a bit more forward. Going to try and clear my hips a bit more, squeeze that baby out from left to right. Let's see what I can do. Perfecto, just right of the tree, nowhere near the out of bounds, ready to attack. Bring it on.
So can Skade squeeze out just one more birdie and post a real target for them all to chase?
That's not what he was looking for. That's a long way left.
Spooner's gone 3 holes without a birdie, Gary. What's wrong with him?
He's just hit an iron down 15, so he's just going to try find this fairway and ideally leave himself on a good yardage, one that he's comfortable with, because the nerves will be jangling, and that's not what he wanted at all. Where has that gone?
We'll probably find out in a moment. Maybe join Kit out there shortly and see if he can shed some light on it. Meanwhile, McCarthy looking to birdie 16 for the 2nd day in a row. Just in with the last roll.
Spooner's got lucky here. That bounce off the trees could have gone anywhere. As it is, it's come out left and he's got a look at the flag, 146 yards away. The only thing he needs to be aware of, a few overhanging branches, but if he punches this one out low, he can still get it on the green.
That's a real stroke of luck, Gary.
It is indeed. Is that a winner's break? So he's probably going to have to back foot this a little bit. Just try trap it and keep it down. You do not want to back out of this. Keep moving nicely through the ball. Trying to work it from left to right. Has he cut it enough? Wow, that's another break. That could have got a firm bounce there. Just a little loose in that grip, if anything. Face got a bit strong and tried to save it at the end. Didn't save it enough.
So Spooner's problems there could bring 1 or 2 more players back into this, including this man.
Pretty sensible shot in over the top of the flag. Skade now on 18. Missed the green left. Plenty of green to work with.
He's playing by far the toughest hole on the course in this final round. Could have done with that one in though, because is 14 under going to be enough?
Didn't get the contact he was looking for there, and he's really played this hole poorly, which might be a little bit unsettling for the youngster. It's going to leave him a lot of work to do for his par.
And suddenly that 14 under, which Skade is probably about to finish on, could be looking a good deal better. So Skade was out in 32, then only the 2nd eagle we've seen on the 10th today, and a couple more birdies after that for a 64, and at 14 under, Skade replaces Casey as the clubhouse leader. Now, Kit has been talking to a man who won Olympic gold in Barcelona 26 years ago, and who's an honorary member here at Harleyford.
All sports, when you get up close to people who are really good at it, they have this ability to make it look easy. And the great thing about golf is we all know how difficult it is. So it's been fantastic for them to show us how you could play this course and just to see the quality that exists at this level. And you know that if you put the work in, then you get this performance out.
You competed and won at the highest level for over 2 decades. Golf is a similarly long span. What does it take to compete at that level for so long?
I think to keep your standards up, you have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to actually enjoy the struggle. My sport hurts, but it only goes on for a short amount of time. I guess with this, you know, the mental concentration and focus across 3 days, across 4 days, it's so difficult to be able to do that. But I think you have to say, you know what, it is pressure, and I don't mind pressure. I can take it on and I can enjoy it, and that almost gets the best out of you.
Well, Spooner may be feeling the pressure a bit, so with Collins 3 behind and Spooner's troubles, this could be to get back within 1.
And he's got it beautifully read and great for speed. Could be a changer this hole. Quite a little fist pump. He knows how important that putt is to keep him in this tournament.
Yeah, it could be a two-shot swing in his favour here. And this Spooner can make this.
A little unfortunate, but it was probably a hole that deserved bogey. He didn't play it well at all. Trouble from the tee, but he did show good speed on that, so his nerve is still intact.
Yeah, it could certainly have been more than 5, couldn't it? So this man is now tied for the lead, but he's got to get this to stay there.
And he has, beautifully done. So it's all tied up.
Tell us about the 16th then, Gary, as we have a look at it from above.
Yeah, it's a beautiful par 3. Playing 192 yards today, averaging just a little over its par, but it's yielded plenty of birdies during the week. That is ideal. If you can play it like that, fella, you'll be happy enough. Maybe with a smaller ball. Green is perched up just a little bit, slopes it just from right to left still. Something in just left of the flag is ideal.
4 birdies and 7 holes now for Collins, completely transforming his chances.
Come on, move.
A little bit of adrenaline there. Just half a club out, and that is similar to where JR was over the green. Chance for Lodge here to put the pressure on.
Missed that chance for now anyway. And Lasky has just become the first player to bogey 17 all day, but he could perhaps get that shot back here at the last if he can chip in.
Never easy coming up that rise, trying to get the distance. So Spooner, the door is open here on 16. Can he take advantage? Looked a better balanced swing there. What's it like for line? Ooh, long way left and in a lot of trouble.
It's funny, they've all played so well all day, but they're just starting to feel it a bit now, aren't they? And with Skade already finished on 14 under, this has to go in for John Ross Galbraith, or his hopes are over.
Just lost his speed a little bit on the greens the last few holes, so something to work on.
This is the 3rd time Spooner has found the thick rough today, and this is the worst of the lot. He's short-sided. Everything on the green slopes away from him. If he gets up and down from here, it's an absolute miracle.
What's he got to do here, Gary?
He's got a hit and hope, I think. It's very hard to get any control from this, but he has to keep the speed through impact. He's played it very well, but as Kit described, just no control from there, and you can just see it now. He's got to put on so much speed for such a short shot. He can't put too much loft into it. Oh, they see the way he's held the loft down on that just to make sure he gets the contact.
Lodge in not quite so thick rough. Did he get a bounce off the sprinkler head there?
I think there was a little off the cushion there, was there? Which didn't do any harm.
If he could plan for that, it would be great.
So Collins really needs to get this up and down. Spooner is probably going to drop at least one. Doesn't take advantage.
Lasky finishing up now. Hasn't quite been able to keep up today. Gave himself a chance by picking up 4 shots on the way out. Couldn't keep it going, but poised for a top 10 finish after that closing round of 68.
He'll be disappointed though, front line that promised so much. Now let's see what Spooner can do on 16. Just lag it anywhere down around the hole. Steady. Yeah, that's very good from there. But it is going to be a drop shot.
It is, and it's going to be back-to-back bogeys, and that really gives him a psychological challenge now. Such a bad time to start dropping shots.
That's an excellent par putt there for John Ross Galbraith. Really got the speed on that. Much better acceleration on that putt, and it's a brilliant round of 66 to finish.
Yeah, be a bit disappointed after going out in 31 and then having a birdie on the 10th as well. He won't win, but he's not going to be far away. Collins has birdied the previous 2 holes, and he's bogeyed this one.
They're all just starting to feel the pressure a little bit coming in.
Oh, you can totally see it. It's like they're playing a different game now.
It's a super putt there from Lodge.
Yeah, and he's now going to be the outright leader because of Spooner's problems. Well, he's hung in there all day. A well-timed run.
It's been a dramatic change in the last couple of holes, so let's see if that is going to continue. Spooner does tap in for his bogey, but all to play for with just 2 holes left.
So Alex Lodge, 15 under par with 2 holes to go, and now in pole position to claim this title. Skade already in at 14 under. McCarthy and Spooner also on that score as they come up the closing stretch. Alex Lodge seizing the initiative as we head towards the climax of the Matchroom Sport Championship. Lots of unanswered questions as we arrive at the closing holes of the Matchroom Sport Championship, not least who's going to win it. And at the moment, Alex Lodge is the man best placed to claim this title and the £10,000 first prize. He's on 15 under par with 2 holes to go. James Skade sitting in the clubhouse after his 64, having posted a target of 14 under. He's joined on that score by Nick McCarthy and Billy Spooner, but they've both still got time to build on that.
That's the par 5 17th. Quite short at 509 yards, so a really good downhill tee shot. You can find this fairway in just a long iron home and 2. Certainly an opportunity for the guys to try to find a birdie here, or possibly even an eagle.
Yeah, and the good news for Alex Lodge is that he's birdied this in both rounds so far.
He's going to really have to work this hard left to right. Out of position with the tee shot. And that is a fantastic second shot just to get it down in front. See the change in direction on his downswing. Really working the club. Oh, he got a little lucky coming out through the trees, but trying to work that hard left.
So here's one of the men trying to dislodge Alex Lodge at the top of the leaderboard. A man who's spent much of the day on top of it himself. Interesting foot movement there at the end, Gary.
He likes to walk forward. He's certainly, oh, just a little shy. Just getting a little bit edgy. He needs to calm down. Good shot in there, just a little unfortunate, very firm bounce. Here's a good look at his swing, and it's a good swing. Great clearance there on the lower half. Nice balance finish, beautifully coming up through the ball.
If Collins wants any hope of getting his hands on this trophy, he will need to hold this chip for eagle. But it's a nice one. It's flat. He's got just enough green to work with. It's lying well. He can get a 56-degree wedge to it, be quite aggressive, and it's reasonably straight. It may just break from left to right. He needs to hole it. Can he?
We'll find out in just a moment. But first, it's Fraser, who's coming off the back of a birdie on 17. He's birdied that in every round.
He'll have an outside try there, but as we've seen earlier, that was a slow putt. But back to Lodge with his third shot. Needs to be brave now and try to get it all the way back to the flag here. Just a little tentative. Probably it's more work for his par than a birdie try, really.
It's hard to be brave, isn't it, when there's so much at stake?
Oh, that was a fantastic shot. Played it like a bunker shot. Used the bounce on the club, and let's see what Spooner can do here on 17. This is not easy, not a huge amount of green to work with.
It's a real test of nerve, having just bogeyed the previous 2 holes, and it's a test he's passed fairly well, I think, Gary.
Yeah, he played that well, kept the loft down on it nicely. Didn't go for the big, extravagant high floater. Now let's see if Fraser, long-range birdie putt.
They all count for so much at this stage. Every stroke makes a big difference in terms of pounds and points.
Played it well, but just a little outside the leather, you'd have to say.
So McCarthy hoping this will be his last shot of the day. Well, he had 8 birdies on his card, but a couple of dropped shots late on when he just couldn't afford them. Still a fine finish of 66 for Nick McCarthy. His last par of the day came at the 12th. Very much a mixed bag after that.
Yeah, it's a great round of golf. Tough way to finish, but got to be pleased with himself.
And what would he give for a birdie now? It's such a crucial stage and in such a good position.
What a great try that was. Brilliant for speed. Just a little bit too low. He thought he had it.
That's a moment he'll be thinking about tonight if he doesn't end up winning this. Fraser to complete a bogey-free round. Oh, what a shame. It's his only dropped shot of the day, but 68 for the 2nd day in a row means the Welshman has broken 70 in all 3 rounds.
Now this is an enormous putt for Spooner. Needs to roll this in to get to -15 and tie the lead.
Oh, what a great up and down, and what a response to the bogeys on 15 and 16.
Dead straight, read it beautifully. Had the courage to find the speed. Collins must make to get within 1. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, he's another one who's going to walk off with bad memories of this green. And I think you can see from his reaction that he knows how costly that is and what it's done to his chances.
And this will need his full attention. It's only 1.5 feet, but it's to stay in the lead with 1 to go. But he rolls it in beautifully.
Yep, Lodge and Spooner locked together, 15 under. And here's the last, Gary.
Yeah, it's a good par 4, 450 yards. As John described earlier, trouble down the right-hand side, so tee shot is crucial. Heavy rough on either side of the fairway, so it really is a find the fairway and give yourself an opportunity to get a second shot onto this green and possibly finish in style with a birdie 3.
Well, a birdie would mean so much to any of these guys now, but there's only been one birdie here all day by England's Josh Lockery.
Needs a trusted swing here. Nice balance. Keep moving.
He's going to be feeling good after bouncing back with that birdie on 17 and feeling a bit better now after that as well.
What a tee shot that was. Absolutely smashed. Different strategy here for Lodge, just with the iron, so he will definitely be going into the green first.
Oh, I don't like those signals Collins is giving. Is that out of bounds?
OB.
It is.
No, that is a disaster. Oh my goodness.
And the irony of that, Gary, he was the one who took the iron off the tee. Spooner finds the fairway with the driver. Lodge goes out of bounds.
So birdie for Collins could change things with Lodge on 15, but he's gone out of bounds. Where is he going? Right down the middle. Super tee shot. Yeah, strange play there. Just got a little nervous on it, so he really has to focus. This is the last thing he would have wanted. Yes, try to clear his mind.
Well, so many shots have been lost on this 18th hole today, Gary. 2 players took 8, including Max Smith from Fox Hills, who was 4 under for his round coming to the last, and then gave it all back by finishing with a snowman. That's better second time round at least.
His head must be absolutely scrambled. Can't believe it. Could be a cruel game at times, golf.
Oh, absolutely. All that work for 3 days, and then could it all have been blown in one moment? Anyway, got to keep battling. You never know what might happen to turn things back in his favour. This is 4th now, though.
Yeah, it's a super shot, but it really does seem a strange play. We've got a good look at his swing here. This is going to be a freer swing because he's chasing, he's not steering, and he's got a superb golf swing. No issue there, just the mind took over on his tee shot.
It was noticeable, though, there after hitting that approach, how dejected he looked as he walked after it.
Collins trying to navigate this tree in the fairway, which I'm sure is the ire of the local members.
They'd like to chop it down if they could.
Well, it's Spooner's to lose now, and rightly so, after an imperious tee shot. One of the toughest shots on the course off the 18th tee there, and he's absolutely crushed one down here. Just 142 yards in. I'm not sure if he knows it, but a par is enough for the win. It's an inviting looking flag, but there's no need to go chasing it. Hit the middle of the green, 2-putt, and walk off with your trophy and £10,000 winner's cheque.
This is the ultimate test of your nerve now, isn't it, Gary? The final swing when you've got a chance to get your breakthrough win.
It is indeed. This is when all the practice you wanted to pay off just fall on a good number. Should be a nice solid 9 iron. Is he chasing it down? Oh, look at the amount of action he had on that. He's obviously gone for a harder wedge.
And worth remembering, even with Lodge's problems, Spooner still has to get a par to win this in regulation time, because Skade is already in at 14 under. So Spooner has to make a 4 to stay ahead of him.
He's got a slow putt up this hill and will move quite a bit from his right to left, so he probably's got to hit it harder than what he wants to.
Oh, he'll definitely take that every day of the week, won't he? So it looks like it's his day. Collins, in theory, can stay in contention by making this one.
He's unlucky there. He hit a great putt, just a little bit too much speed. for a bogey for Lodge. Out of bounds with an iron from the tee. Heartbreak, final hole. Can he at least just drop one? No, it's going to be a double bogey to finish.
Yeah, it's been costly for him this hole. He bogeyed it on the first day. 3 shots gone on the 18th over the course of the week. Well, Collins got himself right into contention, but a 4 at the short 16th took the wind out of his sails. He needed to finish with 2 birdies. Instead, it's 2 pars, and that's a final round of 69. He's going to finish in a share of 3rd place.
Lodge will tap. It does tap in for his double bogey. 6.
Heartbreak at the last for him. He came to the last with a chance to win, but in the end it's going to be a share of 3rd. All 3 rounds in the 60s for him. But it's all about this man. What a feeling this must be. Only 20 years of age. Remember the name, Billy Spooner. 4 birdies in a row around the turn. Lost his way a bit with bogeys on 15 and 16, but crucially birdied the 17th, and in the end a par at the last was good enough for Spooner to win the Matchroom Championship. And didn't he respond well to his troubles late on, showing great nerve to finish it off. The first of many wins, I'm sure, for Spooner. 15 under, 1 ahead of James Skade. What a challenge he put in with that closing 64. Casey with a 63. Despite that bogey at the last, he shares 3rd.
Bill, you've just won the Matchroom Sport Championship. How are you feeling?
To be fair, it sunk in, but I'm so relieved, mate. I'm just buzzing. Really, really happy.
You made a really fast start, birdie on the first 2, knocked it in close on the 3rd as well. What was going through your mind at that stage?
I was thinking 59 again. I was obviously on for one yesterday, but I felt brilliant from the first tee. I was hitting it lovely on the range and just thought I'd just try and take it out onto the course and see what happens. No, you got me the win. So
I got off to a great start. I didn't really know what to expect. I haven't been in this position for a long time. Started off lovely and just felt so comfortable. Just kept going, and I played great, and it was nice to keep it going, and shame it come up 1 short, but that's the way it goes, isn't it? I would have taken it at the start of the day. So
it's just nice to know I can do it and get the job done. I think when I'm in positions like this anymore, I won't be as nervous because I'm used to winning now. So the big thing is just to get a win. That was brilliant.
He missed the cut at Frilford Heath in the opening event, but that cheque of £10,000 sees Spooner join the Frilford Heath winner, Paul O'Hara, at the top of the order of merit on £10,000 after 2 events. James Skade in 3rd place after finishing runner-up on his own.
Wow, what a week we've had here at Harleyford. It's had everything, and today's final round was a fitting finish. On the 2nd day, we had Dave Coupland's ace and a course record from Billy Spooner. And in the final round, another course record. Brian Casey went deep with a 63 that included 2 bogeys, incredibly. But of course, the man of the moment, Billy Spooner, a young man at 20 years old with all the talent in the world. He had to bounce back a couple of times today from adversity, but the skill he showed and the mental resilience is going to stand him in good stead. 15 under is a superb total. I think we're going to see a lot more of Mr. Spooner this year. On to Studley Wood for the 3rd event of the PGA EuroPro Tour season.